How hard could it be? So today I needed to finish flattening the fretboard. There was a little bit of work to do that, so I just marked it a couple times and used a straight edge with some pencil on the edge of it to see if I had any low spots that wouldn't get marked by it, and then sanded it flat, and then went up the grit up until about 400. Then I used the existing neck and a marking knife to mark all the frets, and then a thin piece of wood to mark across the curve of it, and then score a line across everything. Once I had them all marked, I got a fret saw, which is actually a Japanese dovetail saw, and used that to cut in all the frets where the fret wire is going to go into, and it has little barbs that'll hold in the hole into the slot that's cut. And I'm going to use a little bit of CA glue as well, just to give it a little extra holding power in case. And here you can see me using the dovetail saw to cut in all those frets. And once it's on the neck, I'm going to cut them in a little bit deeper and just finish that. But I figured it'd be harder to do this on the guitar than off. And so I got them all cut and scored almost deep enough. And then I needed to work on cutting in the truss rod. I figured out the depth and the width of it and what I was able to use and where I wanted to place it. And then using blue tape and hot glue, and some 3/4 inch plywood, I made a template for it just by gluing a piece at the very end, and then gluing two sides that my router template bushing would fit between, and then using a spiral upcut bit with a round over in the bottom 1/4 inch wide, which is the width of the truss rod. I was able to route the slot to just shy of the depth I needed, and I was going to clean it. I cleaned it up with chisels and opened it up at the headstock end where the adjustment screw sits, because that had to be a little wider, and I wanted to take out the least amount of material from the neck as possible. So using some gouges, I was able to clean this up and make the truss rod fit perfectly in the slot that was cut for it. Next, I marked where the fretboard was going to go. I measured everything up, and then applied glue to both, and used pretty much every clamp that I had available that would fit on it, just to get it to set and to get the glue to be to tack up a little bit. Then I took the clamps off one by one and used wire that I wrapped around the neck and the fretboard as tight as I could to bind it, because that would give you a better clamp, and it would give me a cleaner looking edge where the fretboard and the neck were glued together than the clamps were giving me. So I got a little bit of extra squeeze out from the glue there, and I got a tighter joint. And then I was able to put a couple clamps on that and let that sit overnight, and this is ready tomorrow for me to put the frets in, level them, and then prep it for clear.